So there's 5 key parts of a great press release. The first is it's concise, so short, usually about 1 page, and it's got short sentences because they're only going to skim read it. They're not, if you've got big blocks of paragraphs of text, they're not going to be able to read that, they're not going to be able to skim read it, so they probably won't read it at all. So short and succinct and conversational, which means write like you speak, sound like you. What happens when we start putting something like this together? We get the little critical voice in our head who starts telling us that we're not good at this, that we cannot write, that you don't sound smart enough. So then you start thinking, oh, I've got to make it sound better than me. And you start putting in big words and things, and it just loses your essence of who you are. So always try and sound like yourself. 2 crucial parts, the headline and the opening sentence. So the headline is not meant to be the headline that ends up in the story. The headline is meant to attract the journalist's attention. So just smack them in the face with what the story is about. Their job is to be creative, your job is just to tell them what it's about. So it's not too long, not too wordy, not too professional sounding. So don't think you've got to have this long-winded thing with lots of big words in it, just get to the point. And most of the text of a press release is quotations, in quotation marks, from you. So you're writing it in the third person as if you're someone else. So you're writing about you, you're writing from you, but it's actually in the third person. So you're going to be introducing yourself as some kind of expert. And I would really encourage you to do that. Claim your expert status. Call yourself photographic expert. Call yourself natural health expert. Call yourself skincare expert. Whatever it is, give yourself an expert title. And I know some people get a bit weird about that. They go, oh, but I'm not the expert. I'm not saying you're the expert. I'm saying you're an expert. And so you're an expert to everyone who's not in your industry. You're all experts to me because I'm not in your industry. And the benefit of calling yourself an expert is usually the journalist will take your title that you've given yourself in your press release and use it in their story. So if you call yourself skincare expert and it turns up in Body and Soul, then suddenly everyone reading Body and Soul will be going, well, of course you're the skincare expert because Body and Soul said you were. And they've said you were because you've said you were. There's no expert fairy who's going to bestow expert status on you. You have to claim it yourself. And then make sure that you're contactable. Okay, so don't send a press release out, then switch your phone off for 3 hours and go into a meeting. That can really frustrate a journalist because you sent a press release out, they're assuming that they can pick up the phone and talk to you in that moment. And if they can't, they may have a deadline that they have to meet in the next 15 minutes. And suddenly they've decided they want to interview you and you're going to help them meet their deadline, and now you can't, so they have to find someone else, and that's very frustrating. So if you can't take a call, don't send a press release out. And so you don't have to be like sitting by your phone, but if you're able to be interrupted while you're doing something else, that's okay.